Hey guys, I have been working on the Godzilla and I have painted the egg a little bit more. I keep lightening up the blue and the yellow, and maybe it's still not quite light enough, but I went ahead and added the spots. I may try to mute it a little bit more. I also painted the eyes. On this particular Godzilla, there isn't really an iris. It just shows a big pupil, and you can look at references like I have here on my iPad that I found of different models or photographs of the particular Godzilla you're doing. Also books like this, they're great, but especially being it's a chibi or super deformed style, a lot of times what I like to do is try to put a little bit more character in the eyes and actually make like a dark iris, but I decided not to in this case. What I want to talk about this time is maybe a bit optional, but I wanted to just show you this as a way to work on things. I have these markers. These are Faber Castel markers, and they were fairly expensive. I got kind of a big set of them. A lot of them I don't use that much, but I did use this black one to make the eyes, or the pupils in the eyes. And I have used these markers before to do an entire model before. One I did was my Baby Angurus, which I'll post some pictures here of what it looked like. But that one, I felt like it would be good to try to use markers to paint the whole thing. The deal about using these markers is they will smear if you touch them after you've applied them. I think if you waited a while they would set pretty well, but I used this dull coat throughout my modeling process, but especially if I'm using these markers or if I'm using oil paints, after I let them set for a while, I give it just a touch, just a quick spray. I don't want to like saturate it because that can make it smear, or in the case of like these irises, it could make them so that they get a little speckles in them, or a little bit cloudy. And so I just want to hit it to give it a little bit of a seal, and then maybe I'll go back over it later and then be able to apply more. But what I want to show you right now is a process of how you could maybe do the claws. Now, I have this one color I like, which is actually a dark blue, and I've used that quite a bit on claws before. And what I will do is go around the edge of the claw up close to where the skin is, and just apply that around the edge. It doesn't have to be perfect right now. Then I'm going to take one of the lighter browns. I'm going to go right over the top of that, what I just did. Kind of add the two colors together. Now, if you have a set of markers, you want to experiment with different things, you can always do that. So I added that. I'm not real sure it's quite the color I want, but that's okay. I'm going to try some other colors too. Now you can try to blend these together a little bit. This one is kind of a light flesh color, and I'm going to try to blend that in just a little bit wider. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to leave this to be my the final way I paint this. I just want to show you what you can do if you want. And so it gets a little bit of a flesh tone going in there. Well then, this one here, these lighter colors, this is a, what is it? It's an ivory. I use that to try to blend into the light ivory of the toe nail. And that works pretty good. I've also used water. Get a little water on a brush and just kind of try to get it to blend a little bit. Okay, I got a darker brown here because I think that it's not quite the color I want, so I'm going to try that right over the top of what I had done earlier with the blue. And the light brown. Okay, if you can see that, I'm liking that look a little bit better. So now I'll take that flesh color again and see if I can blend that color up into the nail a little bit. Okay. Now if you like this, go with it. I am not sure yet if I want to do everything like that or not. My other process I do when I do the claws, a lot of times I use oil paints because they blend and they feather very nicely. And I'm going to try a little bit of water on there, see if that works. Just a little. Get off some of the spots I don't like. Yeah, so it just gives you an idea of how, one way you can do it. But I'll probably use oil paints to paint them, and when I do that I'll show you. But what I find is difficult when I'm making this video or trying to continue these videos and show you the whole process is that there's so much back and forth between what I would want to do, and when I'm not making a video I just dig into it and I just do this, and then I say, I'm going to do this now, I'm going to do this now. And there's a lot of back and forth and different things I'm doing. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent in my process to show you what I do. So it ends up being difficult. I find myself not moving along on this because I go, oh, I got to film this. So that's why you see me doing some of this stuff offline, because it's just no way I would be able to. It'd be very boring too to watch me just work and work and work on this. But I will probably be doing a little bit more on the nails and show you how that looks on the next video. And then I'll start something different as far as the painting. And I'm thinking that with this acrylic base coat, I think the way to go next would be to do some oil, use some oil to go inside the crevices, and then do some dry brushing. And so I'll probably either do in the crevices in the form of a wash, or maybe even a small brush I can dig into those areas with a little bit of a dry brush technique. But we'll see later. And here's a closer look at the eyes. So I'll continue to work on this and I'll give you an update soon. All right, bye.